Yeah, I'm expecting them to save last pick for Jensen because that matchup is going to be so critical. Yes, you do gain an advantage by picking for that bottom lane as well. You know, if they're going to go for something like more generic, like Orianna, you could do that. Sett Kalista, another pick that, you know, that can work very well. Theoretically, this could go to Jensen, but it doesn't feel like his style of champion, so I am assuming this is the support for CoreJJ. I will say that support Sett, really not very popular in NA in general. We saw Huhi have some success with it, but really across the board, no one was playing it ever since it got some of those nerfs a while back. So this is a more aggressive option. Looks like G2 is going to go with the Jayce mid. So very early game focused comp here. They're looking to smash lanes, use the Renekton, the Jayce, the Nidalee to push in, to get priority, enable Jankos to get aggressive, take away jungle camps from Broxah, who has been more on that back foot. And Orianna, not a surprise here at all. If that does get locked in for Jensen, that is really his bread and butter champion, I would say. Yeah. This is a pretty reasonable, well-rounded composition here for TL. They are going to have, I think, some trouble in the early game if they are not very, very careful. There's good setup, you know, both in bot and top for the Nidalee, especially post 6. The Ashe arrows can be very deadly, and Jayce can look to get really, really aggressive onto this Orianna in the early game. So will be interesting to see where they get priority and what Broxah is going to try to play out this game like, because I do think that Broxah is going to need to step up his play, try to be more involved in these lanes. Yes, he has been spending time, you know, warding for and protecting those lanes, but I think he either has to go more strongly towards just power farming and being a strong leader so he can carry fights, or ganking more often so that he's having a more direct impact on those lanes.
Yeah, I do want to see him show up a lot more in the early game. Jankos stepping up on the world stage has been a delight here as well. His second Nidalee game since 2016, and he is the only magic damage on the roster. As grabs and fist bump, and we'll see if this draft can look better on the Team Liquid side. I think the synopsis we got from the first 2 TL games was that they had gotten heavily outdrafted both times. This one, at face value, looks a lot more equal, and we'll see if the actual then play of their 5 can step up against G2, who is obviously the best European team, I think, in the history of League of Legends. You can maybe put an asterisk there for Fnatic with the 2011 World Championship win right there, but 4 straight LEC titles, World Final, MSI champion. Like, G2 are the team you look at when you're hoping for a deep run out of the LEC, a 2-0 start, and on paper, they are expected to clap Team Liquid here.
Yeah, they are looking really good so far, you know, taking down Suning, as you already said. That game was absolutely incredible. I hope that we are in store for a competitive one here today. I agree. I do think that TL's draft is completely reasonable. I think, you know, if you turn nameplates off, you know, a lot of people will be very, very happy with that TL draft. So it does come down to the execution. Can these players step up and match the level of play that is going to be shown here from the European champions?
A lot of questions to be answered then. North America. If you look at the last 1 game, they have a 100% win rate in the World Championship.
We'll take it.
If you look at only the play-in stage, there's an 80% win rate. If you take very specific stats, the LCS has done pretty well at the World Championship. You look at the first 2 days of Worlds, it's not so
Just
bright.
Just close your eyes between play-in and the FlyQuest game, and NA is crushing it.
NA is crushing it in a couple of games here, but now they're up against G2. And this is a match that is a rematch of the fastest best of 5 any of us have probably ever seen. The MSI 2019 Championship. Team Liquid took down reigning world champions Invictus Gaming. G2 3-0'd TL as fast as you could blink your eyes. And now we get the rematch here at the World Championship to close out their first round robin of this group here at Worlds 2020. They'll rematch in a few days' time. That'll be exciting there as well. But TL get a chance to shake off all of the malice people have thrown at the LCS off of the rough group stage start, off of TL themselves losing to G2 in their most recent best of 5. And we'll see now in this one if they can shake this off. And it's going to be a late invade that'll be spotted by PerkZ as he walks away. But Jankos wants this camp. Will not land the Javelin.
Looks like they're just going to fight for this. So we'll see if Jensen as well as Caps are actually going to move down. But nice spear does land, and I mean, I don't know how heavily they want to commit. I think in a drawn-out fight, it should go the way of TL, but they're getting poked down, and this is going to come down to a smite fight, looks like.
Flash stun! They've got the combo! Jankos is not going to be rented. The heal comes down in time. The flash auto is first blood for Tactical, and a red buff for Broxah. Team Liquid got the best start they could have hoped for.
Great engage there from CoreJJ, flashing past the red buff to clap Jankos and the red buff together. The smite is landed there by Broxah. And G2, I think they had a much weaker level 1, but I think they were depending on the fact that maybe TL would play it out more slowly. You land enough volleys, you land enough spears, you poke them down, you win the smite, and it maybe goes your way. But this time it is TL starting out with an aggressive level 1 plan, and it does work to their advantage. Tactical also gets the kill, which is huge. We have seen him dominate on Kalista before. You know, his playoff performance on it, one of the best 1v9 style kind of AD carry performances I have seen in a long time, and we'll see if he can kind of replicate that success here against G2.
I like the Hex Flash spam out of Mykix. And level 2 comes in first for the TL side. Of course, CoreJJ has Hex Flash as well to start things off. Want to point out a very important point. It is phase rush. Alistar, I'm not always a big fan of it. You aren't durable until level 6. That means you can trade an Alistar every single time. If Mykix ever oversteps, he will die to the CoreJJ tactical re-engage. He has to play this lane very well. Now, he is outstanding as a support player. I actually have a lot of high hopes for the support matchup overall.
He's been incredible.
Yeah, I mean, these are two of the very best players. Of course, CoreJJ, the LCS MVP. Off the back of Team Liquid's regular season win in the summer split. Mykix, I believe, was top 3 All-Pro voting, number 3, I believe, on the All-Pro team, and just an absolute incredible part of the LEC G2 championship lineup as well.
And one thing I would say is I feel like, you know, for G2, Mykix has been the MVP at Worlds. You know, he has been really crushing it. His Bard game against Suning, I believe it was incredible. So he really has been stepping up to the plate, and you know, CoreJJ, I think without a doubt the best player in the LCS. You know, based on the last couple years, he has been really crushing it. But this has put Jankos quite a bit back, right? You know, Broxah stole his red, went red to red. He is going to get that 3 buff, and because this wave is crashing so much later, it's not as though it's an easy dive. Like, if you were going to do this Renekton Nidalee dive on the Volibear, you would want to try to stack the wave and do it when you have 2 level 3s against the level 2. But Impact is level 4. That being said, Impact has quite a big CS deficit, honestly. Wunder has created a very large advantage up there by himself, and that is not from jungle pressure. You know, they knew that Jankos was set behind. That is just straight up from outlaning his opponent 1v1. So already, you have to say, those 3 bans towards Impact are paying some dividends for G2.
But I will say, despite the top lane difference, which definitely is there, and props to Wunder, mid and bot lane are looking absolutely great for Team Liquid. Jensen is up CS with a bigger wave to farm. Exact same boat for Tactical here on the bottom side, as he's got the 3 CS lead. Now it's pushing back. Broxah wants to be looking for an evade. Misses the Q, though. Here's Headbutt Pulverize. Going to be slowed down as well. He'll be punched. Has to burn the flash to get away. And that is Broxah a little bit too far up, and a good punish by Mickey.
Yeah, that was very poorly played by Broxah. He had full vision of Mickey walking up. You can just smoke screen him and walk away. You know, instead, he actually stayed, tried to get some damage down, missed the Q, then is unable to proc phase rush to walk away, so he actually has to force the flash out there. So, mistake from Broxah, you know, and that is going to limit how aggressive he can be. He is farming very well, but, you know, you have to be careful for looking for any plays without flash.
For sure. Big chunk comes out of Wunder. Jankos now slinking around to the brush. There's a ward that'll spot him if he goes towards the lane. Ultimately, the recalls. Wow, that timing was so close. He nearly stops Core's recall and punches him down, but it's going to get through as we get the easy pickup there. And the Cutlass comes down for Tactical. No boots just yet for his side as recalls come through on the top side. 14 CS difference, and I believe the top lane will push towards Wunder. He gets to save his teleport if he wants to.
Exactly. He actually stacked it and has it so it's going to slow push towards him. That's why he walked forward and didn't hit those minions, allowed them to stack up. Jensen, nice trade here. If he has enough mana for a shockwave, he could force flash, but not going to go for it. And yeah, so now he TP's back because he didn't want Impact to be able to push this in. He wants to be able to pressure him. Broxah knows that caps is really low, so that's why he's going for this invade. He's trying to steal away some camps to relieve pressure. This is something that Broxah has been criticized for, is that, you know, when he is power farming, he's power farming his side of the map. Even in a winning matchup, he's not going to his opponent's side. Has looked a lot better in these early minutes here, you know, getting in the face of Jankos, trying to relieve some of that pressure. And we can see the G2 bot lane heading up towards that top side, trying to look for a potential roam play up here.
And look at the camp difference. I mean, you've got the 5 farm lead for Jensen in mid, but Broxah now, speaking of a fight in the mid lane, though, CoreJJ dropped pretty low, has the punch for the shield if he needs it. They'll jump forward, big punch, shockwave onto 3. Jankos is burning down. Team Liquid with their second kill, and they're going to grab it on the Jensen. Ulti in for Impact, forces the flash away from Jankos, and Team Liquid up 800 gold in the early game.
G2, a big overchase there. Honestly, that was a fully stacked passive on CoreJJ. He was holding the W in case you went in. All of G2 piles in, gets hit by the shockwave there from Jensen, and the easy turnaround from CoreJJ. the W across the whole squad. G2 roams everyone up to the top side, spends a bunch of summoners, and loses a kill for it. And Team Liquid are looking really good in the early minutes of this game.
All right, now the savior of G2 is still Wunder up in that top side. Of course, teleport down means he can't show up to any of the other fights for a while, but still doing incredibly against Impact up on the top side. Broxah with the jungle lead, feels safe to invade the red buff despite being spotted by Mickey a little while ago. No problem on the smite, gotta be close to 6. And finally, as Tactical gets level 6, decides, okay, I will finally bind with CoreJJ. Was gonna hold on to it for a while. Occasionally, there's a reason to switch the champion if really interesting situations arise. You don't learn W oftentimes in the early game in Kalista anyway, so you might as well leave yourself the option. Goes for the obvious one though, gets his support. Nice smite comes through, I believe that was Jankos claiming it.
Did get it. But mid lane, you've got to say, is going incredibly well for Jensen. As you said, we saw the stats on the analyst desk. Jensen has not been having the world championship that he wanted. Caps has been very strong. But the fact that you're playing Orianna, a champion that heavily outscales the Jayce, and you are ahead is very, very good. Impact now in some trouble, but Wunder takes 2 tower shots. Yeah,
Impact got the heal. He got the big W off, and that just meant Wunder couldn't do anything else anymore. So the one winning lane for G2 fails to get much done in a later on one-on-one. Impact only has to be a tank. Nidalee is never going to kill a frontliner. He can armor stack forever, and it's going to feel really comfortable. Wunder going for a more wave clear build with the Tiamat early item. That's not always the shop you go for. Caps, I believe, doesn't spot CoreJJ just, but hugging the left-hand side is going to be hard to gank.
And what we've been seeing more, and some of the LPL Renektons will do this, is just go towards Tiamat and then never actually complete the item unless you're talking like 6 items, right? They'll just go Tiamat to have really strong wave clear so they can have push when they want it, so they can, roam more effectively, and always have those mini waves set up how they want them to be, and then just go straight into the more standard Black Cleaver, Sterix, this style of build.
Broxah at level 6 takes top scuttle, knows the Herald's around as well, but missing pings, they know top lane can move around. Wunder has permanent priority in this one, so Herald cannot be summoned. And even just the threat of it was enough. No one actually went to look at Broxah. Theoretically, he could have been soloing the Herald this whole time, but the threat of Renekton showing up, of Nidalee showing up, is too much, has to back off. And just will hold on to his 19 CS lead over Jankos, who has caught up in levels. They're both 6, and he's moving around the map still with Dark Harvest Nidalee. I hadn't noticed that before.
And this is a game, honestly, where, in some of the previous games, we had a lot more pressure on TL to get things done early. Notably in the Machi game, they didn't draft for any engage. They had to win lanes. They had to play from ahead to be able to set up around objectives. This is not the case, honestly, in this game. They have multiple forms of engage. You can throw in the Sett with the Kalista. You have potential flanks from the Volibear. You have good scaling, I think, here with the Orianna and the Graves. So overall, they have the better late game comp. G2 still are going to have the ability to out-execute. They have lots of pick potential here with the Ashe era, with Alistar engaged, Renekton flanks, these types of things. So they're not out of it by any means. But Team Liquid are in a way more comfortable position than they have been in any game at Worlds thus far.
Totally agree. Not getting the play-in stage at the very least. They had some good
not
ones
the
there.
For sure, yeah.
But sure, yes, of the group stage, this has been their best-looking game so far for Team Liquid. And G2, to be honest, you look back at their game against Suning, this isn't that far off of how that game started, and G2 still came back with the lead onto that one. There is no Drake stacking right now on the TL side. They haven't done anything but go for turret plates down there, which, to be fair, you can see Mickey has come up, PerkZ has come up. Yes, they've grabbed the Herald, but how many waves are getting killed in the bottom side? Plate number 2 is gone. Plate number 3 is gone. Plate number 4 is under attack, and there's no farm for Perk. So, even just the Herald expected value, it will get 2 plates, which is what has been claimed on the other side of the map anyway. That said, 3-man top, they're going for the entire turret here.
Yeah, they're going for the entire turret, and based on the gold pre-Herald, you would say it's going in the favor of Tactical. Tactical's actually up 2 levels on PerkZ right now. That's the other thing, is that you're missing so much experience when you make this sort of a play. PerkZ is in a lane with 3 people. He's not getting all those minions, and he's having to share a lot of the experience, whereas a lot more of that is just being farmed into Tactical directly. That being said, G2 may just want to try to break out from the laning phase. They are such a strong macro team. They play the map incredibly well. And maybe they are just relying on more the fact that, okay, we get out of this stage, we put Caps into a side lane, and we'll move around the map better than our opponents. And I think if that's the bet you were trying to make, this sort of a play makes more sense. But just, based on the straight up golden experience, it's not bad for TL at all.
It's a 2,000 gold lead. I mean, gold and XP, you can see Tactical and Jensen lead the charts, and it's not close. I mean, Tactical's got 1,400 gold over anyone on the G2 side. There's the cross-map play you kind of expect. The jungler stayed topside for a while. Jankos shared all the turret gold. If you leave, you can give the turret gold to your teammate while sharing the plate from the Herald charge, and the bot lane Drake goes over. But it is a late Drake. It's 12 minutes, so it's going to be a while, right, until a soul maybe ever does come through in the TL side, but we retain the 1,700 gold difference. Mid lane gets farmed out, 10 CSD here at 12 minutes for Jensen, and we now, with a couple of outer turrets gone, get to look for that G2 mid-game macro.
We'll see exactly where they do want to play it. You know, no one took any early dragons really this game. First one, pretty late. CoreJJ here to protect, should be okay.
And a better dunk, just to make sure nothing goes too scary. Just dunks into Mykix. You can't headbutt pull through that one. It's always going to catch you. And so it's ult for ult, and nothing really happens.
And I think that's a good play there, you know, from both sides. Perk should be looking for these types of picks. The fact that CoreJJ was anticipating it prevents it. If you actually try to peel the Ashe instead of the Alistar, there's a chance that Mykix can just run up and headbutt you back towards the tower, and then maybe Jensen gets chased down. So nice disengage, and G2, again, looking for plays proactively, trying to move Mickey around the map here. He's got his Swifty boots, and he's looking to roam and find picks. But CoreJJ thus far has been equal to the task. He has been in the right place at the right time. He has been matching Mickey throughout this first 13 minutes.
I mean, Core, to me, has played a nearly perfect game as far as I can tell. I think he just canceled to the skies in melee range from Caps. He's like, you're pressing that one. Here's the face breaker. Thanks very much. You're still stuck here. So far, so good. Top lane now under fire as well. Plates dropping in 30 seconds. TL still holding on to a 2,000 plus gold lead. Caps doing his best to wave. You can't 1v2 onto that turret just yet. Core can start any dive. You just pull him back out with the Kalista. No problems there. And honestly, it feels like G2 are kind of getting pulled around the map. Plates have dropped in every single turret. And aside from the Herald play, G2 have not claimed any other turret plays. So TL, going to be something like 9-5 in plates right now as the 14-minute mark crosses. And Team Liquid playing a very, very good early mid game, something that honestly had been a weaker point for them throughout the entire year.
Yeah, and I mean, Jankos, you know, you're sitting at this level 8 Nidalee, you're down 25 farm, you're probably 0 stacks still, I think, on the Dark Harvest, unless he did actually get one in that level 1 skirmish, but, you know, he is not in a position to really be much value in this game. Very likely going to be building towards the Athenes, just try to set up his teammates for success, but when you are very far behind as this sole AP threat, you know, you talked about it earlier, but it makes defensive itemization, you know, the armor that much more powerful. We can see CoreJJ is going to be building towards a dead man's plate, Impact, you know, building towards that Iceborne, but will likely start picking up more armor the further we get into the game, and that is going to make things a lot more difficult for Wunder, for PerkZ, and for Caps, because they don't have anyone to make you pay for stacking armor.
And this is, I just want to say, a little bit of an uncharacteristic game for G2. One thing I've heard about them when talking to the likes of Medic and VODS is that, you know, G2, when they're against a team they think is really scary, they will take it very, very seriously. When they think they're a class above, they will get a little bit loose and kind of let things happen. G2, by the way, at Worlds have had 100% first turret rate, and they pick an early game focused team with the first pick Renekton, they get Jayce over the mid lane, and they lose first turret. They get basically doubled up in plate gold so far. This is G2, I mean, falling a lot farther behind in lanes than they have at any other game so far, and that's somewhat TL stepping up. It's somewhat G2 dropping the ball here. And as you mentioned before, yes, I want to see the mid game actually play out. But so far, we're basically waiting on Ashe engage and Mykix for the other combos to get stuff going.
I mean, TL is looking fantastic so far. And I mean, I think that G2 has had to take a slower paced game because of how bad the level 1 went, right? Yeah. Broxah got, like, they got the first blood kill, you know, over onto Jankos. Broxah has been taking away camps from Jankos as well. They're going for the engage now to Jensen.
Play out of Mickey. The dunk back is not going to be enough. He gets the kill, he gets the money, and he's going to walk right back out. Look at the combo. Look at the freaking damage. Beautiful out of Caps and Jankos. Mickey sets it up. PerkZ landed the arrow, and G2 are right back in the game.
That long-range arrow from PerkZ lands onto Jensen, and he was just CC locked from full to dead. Never got a chance to get out of there. Tactical now, finding Jankos, trying to push him back, but G2 come to life in this game, grabbing a couple kills for themselves and showcasing the pick potential that their composition does have. You know, TL are in control. TL do have the scaling, But if you miss position, if you get caught out whatsoever by those Ashe arrows, by these engages, it really can turn things around. And here it goes, that long-range Ashe arrow landing right out of the combo from Mykix. And as you can see, Jensen was just locked down that entire time. Never had a chance to actually self-shield. Broxah trying to alt-flash away, but the auto attack was already in the air from Caps. And G2 grabs 2 big kills for themselves and now has narrowed this gold lead significantly. You know, it's about 1,500 now, was up near around 3K after we had you know, TL out in the side lanes taking plates away. You can see PerkZ is up towards that top side, you know, trying to put a little bit more gold in his pockets. G2 have made the call to just seed this next dragon. There was no really early dragon stacking that started from TL, so G2 is going to try to play the map, try to get themselves as much gold and experience as they possibly can before they are forced to fight, which is probably going to come to a head at this next dragon. I don't think they're going to want to give up soul.
Oh, there's the Hex Flash headbutt. Pulverized Tactical gets the flash away, pulls in his support just for good measure to get away with the play, but still absolutely beautiful. Mykix making plays in the mid game. G2 had missed their major ultimate cooldowns were still on CD coming into that dragon spawn, so to your point, I think it was very much correct for G2 to cross-map that one, just take the Herald and take the top lane farm and get out, and it means that they are still very much in striking distance of this game, and a flashless Kalista, of course, can be an easy target in, you know, a minute and a half's time. Yeah,
I mean, Mykix should have his flash, you know, before Tactical does, right? So that's something that you can try to look to capitalize on, and you've got to say a bit sloppy there from Tactical. You know that G2 is on the top side of the map in that area because no one showed up towards the dragon. No one is really showing to contest, you know, in mid or bot side. You know they've got to be up there. So going over to the Raptors and not playing towards, you know, your tier 2 in that brush, if you want to take them, that's where you should probably be sitting at, was pretty bold, and G2 pulls the trigger, forces out a cooldown.
One minor thing I want to point out, optimization-wise, is I think of all games to go Essence Reaver on Ashe, this is the one where you really are relying on PerkZ as your most reliable engage source. Mickey's reliable engages on a 5-minute cooldown to flash into it. Otherwise, Headbutt Pulverize can be somewhat outplayed or outdistanced. I think Ashe Arrow is supremely important, and this is the one game I would have really liked to see CDR Ashe.
I can definitely see that. I think just to play devil's advocate, he may be thinking, all right, we have no AP threat. I've got to be able to kill frontline. You know, Bork Hurricane may be able to do a better job against the CoreJJ Impact duo, but Core looking to set up here on PerkZ.
Here's the flash engage. Shockwave going to miss. Let's PerkZ flash away. The autos, the punch. It's going to be maybe enough, but he autos. He's going to not quite stay alive. Bork could not be enough healing. Ignite takes him down. A kill in the mid lane, and mid lane outer should fall as well.
A great play from TL. Just barely getting that kill onto PerkZ, but, you know, we have to see Jensen and CoreJJ coordinating, landing those shockwaves, but they get the kill with the Ignite. They take down the tower. G2 again trying to make cross-map plays, but it's actually going to force out the TP here. Looks like Jensen coming to answer this wave, defend the tower, and TL going to be able to take another tower down on this bottom side, so extending this gold lead. Team Liquid really putting themselves in a position to be successful in this game. This next dragon fight, I think, is going to be so critical for G2. Team Liquid moving members towards mid lane, going to be able to defend this here, and looking like they want to try to collapse potentially.
Looking for the play. They're going to have the whole squad grouped up together, but Ashe is on the wrong side of the map. This is a 5-on-4 if TL can make their way in. Kalista ulti is up. Impact gets the slow. He can ult in for the extra slows as well. Tactical throws in CoreJJ. Stun lands the backside, gets a shield. That is a low health bar. Tactical gets shut down. Another kill to Mykix. And here comes the re-engage. 5-on-4 for G2. Caps dives in. Will be shut down. PerkZ not there in range, and it means that Caps goes too far. And that L becomes an R for that play.
Yeah, it is just the 1-for-1. TL trying to chase for that kill. It is going to be G2 now looking for the counterpunch here, dropping Herald mid. That will be the outer tower going down for Team Liquid. Just the one charge will be enough to knock that out. A great spear from Jankos helped to get enough damage down on Tactical to take him out. But again, it's going to be this setup for this next fight in 130. TL have got to make sure that they have their battle lines clearly established, ward out the flanks, because the way that G2 is going to win a fight around the Dragon Pit is by having Wunder come from difficult angles, having Caps and PerkZ hit, you know, arrows or shock blasts from angles that they do not expect. If TL is set up front to back 5v5, and you have to try to poke past and go through the Sett and the Volibear, I just don't really see you winning that fight.
It's going to be difficult, but if you can CC someone, it's going to be a beautiful thing. The game has stayed at about a 2,000 gold difference. All things considered, G2 remain close into this one. You can see that cross-map arrow from PerkZ yet again into that fight.
Yep. Nails that cross-map arrow. It does land onto Broxah. You can see that spear just barely sneaking through onto Tactical, and then the flash auto from Cap. So committing that flash, he always knew he was going to go down, and that's why he decides to just try to get as much damage down on Jensen. maybe go for a trade kill there, or at the very least try to force something out. He does get the kill on the tactical, but obviously his life is paid as the cost. And now it becomes the battle for vision. You know, both teams going to be trying to play heavily for mid control and then look to utilize that mid control to get into the river and play for that. Caps does have TP, so does Impact, so you know things pretty even across the board there. The fact that Renekton does not have the TP could be somewhat detrimental, but they have spotted Impact and they're going to try to look for a pick.
Runs pretty quick though, still on boots 1, but he's going to be headbutt pulled, and Wunder's nearby, finds himself a shield, walks away, but this is a 5v1. Impact ult, they're still going to be in range, they might find the slow, flashes away, still gets stunned, still gets picked off. Perfect time for G2, but looks like TL wants to fight anyway. Core goes to dunk, only hits one, stuns in the AD carry, burns the stopwatch. They're going to find the kill thanks to Jensen. Re-engage still good. G2 knocks down the Team Liquid support. The chase is still in. Mykix running a bit low. The flash stun on tactical. QSS keeps him alive. Flashes in for the auto. Ren finds it, but he's traded back all the same. Caps now fighting Broxah. Another kill comes in for Jensen, and the chase is still on. Jankos dangerously low. Q is going to land, and Jensen finds his 3rd kill of the fight. And Team Liquid take that battle with only a single G2 member remaining.
G2 kill Impact, but TL are able to turn it around on a good engage there from CoreJJ and Jensen, lining it up to catch PerkZ in that shockwave to take him down, put themselves to soul point here. Jensen now in a position to carry 5-1 and 2 on the Orianna. He's got double defensive itemization as well. So here it is one more time. CoreJJ ulting the Renekton, gets straight in between PerkZ and Wunder. PerkZ trying to step forward to avoid the shockwave, but it does land, and Jensen able to finish him off. Broxah then corralling the rest of them from that bottom side. And Tactical, I think he could have afforded to play this a little bit more slowly, but he does flash in to try to finish off the kill, and does get taken down as a result. But Jensen just far too strong at this point. Jankos out of mana. Broxah had been kiting out Caps on the other side, and they're able to chase down multiple kills here. Caps, though, still having fun. He's in a good mood. That's one of the things you gotta love about G2. Always seem to be there with a smile on their face.
That damage graph is just the most absurd thing. I think Jensen unequivocally is the best performing LCS mid laner all time. He was part of the Cloud9 top 4 at Worlds, part of the Team Liquid MSI final run here as well. The man has done so much well for kind of all the LCS runs, and now as the LCS tries to find their way back into some footing here at the World Championship, he is headlining their G2 victory so far. Drake number 3 is theirs. They are 4 minutes from Infernal Soul, and he's 5-1 and 2 with a 12 stack with Jayce.
He's having an incredible game, and internationally he has been good. You know, regionally it's always the discussion between him and Bjergsen has kind of gotten more done there, but he is looking incredible in this game. Impact may be in some trouble here. G2 trying to collapse once again.
But he's surviving, honestly.
If you show, TL could actually do Baron, and he's actually just straight up beating Wunder in this 1v1 right now.
Holding the ult, he's going to put the storm down, and now how much more is going to happen as he jumps in for this
Jensen's
fight?
Coming.
He's running low on health, and here comes Jensen. He's going to go for the kill first. The shields can come after. Let him die. It's a trade of 1-for-1. Mid laners both getting kills, and now another battle in the bottom river. Mykix in a bad spot. He's running, but Phase Rush gets him pretty far away. Jensen finds himself the one-on-one, and Mykix is running out of time. The headbutt backwards won't do too terribly much. Nice sidestep there for Broxah. The dunk can help guarantee it. And finally, end of the line comes through, and CoreJJ finds himself his 2nd kill. Team Liquid, 3-1 long term.
Will they go to Baron, though? Because TPs are up for both of the G2 soul laners. I think this would be a tough force. I'm not sure if it's worth going for it, but it looks like that is going to be the call. Wunder is up in 8 seconds, though. He will have the TP. You do have Kalista plus Smite, so that is very powerful. Impact's going to be up first with the teleport. So Team Liquid are making the call to go for it right now. Wunder TPing in the mid lane. G2 will challenge.
Make or break moment for G2. They cannot afford to lose this fight in the Baron thereafter. Teleports coming in all across the board. This is the battle, and Mykix can't be a part of it. Stun on PerkZ. Burns QSS flash in for Core, finds a stun, but cannot get more. G2 get the kill off the over-aggressive play, and Teal got to give away this one.
Yeah, Core flashing in there, trying to set up for a shockwave, but he was so low that it just felt like such an overforce. And because the spawn timers from G2 were pretty low, they were always going to be able to teleport back in to try to contest. The one positive here is, yes, you lost your support, but you did trade 1 teleport for 2. So Wunder and Caps both going to be down on the teleport. And we'll see if TL can make anything from that in a while, but Broxah looking like he's caught out.
He is in danger. Great flash, gets away from the pulverize, but here comes the arrow. Not gonna step this one either. Will get away. Here comes the shield, here comes the re-engage. Cap's getting low, has to kite away. Jensen, of course, in range for most of this one. And be careful, because Mickey's coming as well. He's coming for the play. He's gonna find the headbutt, gonna find the pull. Not gonna find much more than the arrow. Shockwave makes Jensen go godlike, and Impact's back in there as well. Not sure you're gonna survive this one. Jankos kites away, a double kill yet again for Jensen. And the re-engage looking for more. CoreJJ, no ulti just yet, but they do have Kalista for the follow-through. Runs in, finds the stun. Here comes round number 2.
They're all dead.
Number 3 and kill number 4. Baron is gonna be easy, and Wunder may have won top lane, but he's not gonna win the 1v5. Team Liquid assuredly gonna claim the Baron against G2.
They're gonna grab Baron 1 minute before soul spawn here too. Team Liquid now at an enormous advantage. G2 up against it, looking like they are very close to being dealt their first loss here at Worlds 2020, and Team Liquid coming alive when they needed it most, have struggled through the first 2 games, but looking incredible on the back of a 9-1-4 performance from Jensen here, absorbing the engage, looking for the turnaround, heals off Mickey with a shockwave, forcing PerkZ to flash Azael's way. And PerkZ is gonna get chased down here, pushed back by Impact as the rest of the team comes in. The speed ups do land from CoreJJ, and PerkZ has nowhere to go, no flash available, no mana to escape. All of G2 getting chased down and cleaned up there. They know they have to force plays because they are getting outscaled, because they are running this early game focused competition that didn't get advantages in the early game. And now it is TL with Kalista plus Smite combo setting up for the Soul here and looking to secure this game.
Well, there are still wards in the pit right now, and G2 not willing to give up this control. They are the most tenacious team I have ever seen come out of Europe. They will take battles that look bad and make them look good. Wunder, a big deal. Mickey here as well. Here comes the play. Can they secure the soul? Smite comes through, they grab it. Here comes the engage. Big stun comes across. Dunk back and forth. They shut down Orianna. Do they have enough for the rest of it? Wunder will drop down as well. 2 for 1 so far, and Mykix is on the run. A double kill for Broxah, a headbutt to a minion. Surely he cannot survive this one. Team Liquid claim the soul, and they win the fight 4-1.
Huge for Team Liquid here. They could potentially just march to a victory, or at least a near death blow, as PerkZ was never able to enter the fight. G2 had to take that in a 4v5 essentially. PerkZ over the wall, just throwing in arrows, trying to get what he could done. But TL grab the soul. They are marching on the base here, and they're at the very least going to be able to secure 1 inhibitor.
PerkZ is around, going to find the slow. TL will cheat up to go for the inhib itself. They'll claim that. They'll run back as fast as they can. Respawns are coming. Teleports won't be up for a flank play. There should not be a re-engage possible as mid is cleared out. Team Liquid will reset. And all the LCS fans can take a moment to breathe and reset for what might be a game-winning push.
And here it is, great engage from Impact, flashing straight on the Nidalee, eliminating any chance of the steal there. And then notice PerkZ on the left side of your screen. He was never a part of this fight, so really it was just an all-in to try to get Soul. There's no way you're going to win that 4v5 as G2 without PerkZ as a part of it, so I'm not sure if he just couldn't get in because of where Volibear was. I do think that Impact came from that bottom side tri-brush, flashing in to actually stun Nidalee, so maybe he had been getting zoned out by that top laner, but without PerkZ in the fight, G2 really stood no chance.
Scuttle's going to be claimed up on the top side. We've got a while till Baron comes back up. This one going to time out here. Team Liquid not getting that much of a gold lead off the Baron itself. G2 still doing a great job of catching waves and everything else, but a 6,000 gold lead plus the Infernal Soul makes this game very heavily in Team Liquid's favor as PerkZ keeps his farm going up. He's got Armor Pen, but until IE comes through, he just does not really crush frontline that fast. As the armor stack is coming in, we've got a Randuin's Omen shortly for Impact. That's a big deal. Yeah.
I mean, he's on 19 stacks on the Mage Eyes. He has the full death cap. Really, if he hits a full combo on pretty much anyone, they're just gone, besides maybe an Alistar with ultimate up. So it is incredibly difficult to team fight here for G2, and the Baron buff is making things even tougher. That gold lead expanded from it. That has expired now, but TL fully in the driver's seat here. And I've just got to make sure mostly that they don't get flanked. They've got to have pink wards behind them. Make sure that Wunder can't find that type of miracle engage, that flank that G2 are looking for, because that is their hope now. Finding an incredible arrow from PerkZ, finding an incredible flank from Wunder. It's got to be something like that for G2 if they want to hold on in this game, because it is a 7,000 gold deficit. You have been outscaled, and the opponents have 4 dragons to 0. They've got the Infernal Soul.
And Tactical playing on a ward gets swept out there by CoreJJ as Jankos tries to do the same. His top lane's under fire. There's no Baron buff, which means wave clear is not that hard. Wunder,
but look at bot lane.
To walk up. Bot lane, yes, it is stacking up. It'll have to be answered soon, and we'll see if that does indeed happen as TL still siege top side, waiting for someone to have to walk down to the bottom side. PerkZ is the one called off. He's going to run over. Hurricane Ruin King makes it pretty quick, catches part of the mid wave, says, okay, that's going to be yours, Wunder. Instead, we got to save our Nexus turrets, and here comes the top lane wave. You got about 3 seconds to show up, and it's indeed going to be the retreat. G2 played as patiently as they can. Team Liquid waited out. Once the minions are there, the 6th man guarantees that siege is easy.
They're still super bot, so it's tough now, because if TL go for this, PerkZ isn't here, and they're going to go for the dive.
They go now, they dunk, Core is in. He cannot be pulled back in time because of the threat on the backline. It's 1-for-0, and Mykix bought so much space, but he may lose his life for it. The ulti's going to time out soon, and there's not going to be another headbutt in time. He will drop it to 1-for-1, a trade of supports, but the wave is inside the base. It is knocking down on the Nexus turrets, and that means Cat shows up. Yes, the turret will live, but it once again means the team is sent back and that TL can try again.
And critically, Caps has no flash now. They're going to dive onto PerkZ.
Dunk turns off the turret. PerkZ going to get away with the QSS. Impact getting low, gets the shields to stay alive, and now the inhibitor is laid bare, and TL will knock this one down. Baron respawns in 40 seconds. With supports respawning in 10, should be an easy reset, and a setup again for this top river.
Team Liquid now, multiple inhibitors have been knocked down in the base of G2. They're gonna reset, they're gonna try to get vision around that Baron, and it's gonna be so difficult.
Oh, this is such a play. That stun's gonna land. Is there more? If TL did not perfectly sync their recalls, if they were off by 2 seconds, Broxah is stunned and no one else is there, and it's jungler dead when Baron spawns. That was almost a game-winning arrow from PerkZ. It was a 1.25 seconds off from it being that, but it was in fog. He couldn't have known any better. End of the day, TL get most members back, but they have not recalled, refreshed their health, refreshed their mana, or shopped since that siege.
Oh, and Mykix over the wall here could go for a big play. If he gets vision, he sees Tactical now.
Gets the headbutt pulverized. QSS running away, gonna stay alive, and the arrow gonna be tanked up by CoreJJ. Mykix goes for the game winner, but it's not gonna be enough. Here come the re-engage, though. Wunder wants in, looking for the re-engage now. Onto Broxah. He's squishy, he'll be stunned. He gets the shield, though, and stays alive. But look at the health bars on TL. 4 of the 5 are below half HP.
Here comes Impact.
Tries. Gets the stun. Mykix back in there as well, but Tactical gonna find 1, gonna find 2. He's gonna lose his support, but he is still alive. Kill number 3 comes across. The dunk over the top. And if I learned anything from Worlds, that G2 or the LEC cannot beat playing teams. Jankos on the way out. Impact on the chase. Minions in the bot side. And Team Liquid, they're not TPing into the base until now. Now they show up to knock down the turrets, and it's Jankos against the world. And I don't think he can do it. Jensen, he is 10, 2, and 10. The turrets will fall, and Team Liquid will find their first win of the group stage, knocking out the LEC sweethearts of G2 and getting a taste of revenge from MSI 2019.
And what a game from Team Liquid here. Such a big win for the team, such a big win for the region as well, as they finally are able to put together an incredible performance here at the group stage. They have been criticized for their draft, they have been criticized for their play, and now they have taken down one of the favorites for the tournament, G2, the #1 seed from the LEC.
The LCS has shown up at Worlds, Azael. They have finally shown up at Worlds. G2 were undefeated in the group. Once they took down Suning, you had to believe, okay, they are here, they are back, they are the favorite for the group. We'll see who they pull in quarterfinals. See you next time. Team Liquid got slaughtered by Suning, had a close battle with Machi. The first time they are not in draft dystopia. They take down G2. A great level 1 invade was obviously a big part of how this all came together. Their bot lane won, their mid lane won. Jankos could never quite keep up after that level 1. And though Wunder won on the top side, Renekton is not that 1v9 carry. And Team Liquid, with good macro, held control of that game the whole time.
I mean, Jensen was obviously a monster in that game, and so much credit is deserved by him, but it was a team effort. And I think that the biggest change for me was that it wasn't just this one preset level 1 play from Team Liquid getting Broxah a buff, and then he kind of sits back and farms. He was constantly pushing the advantage. He was trying to invade, trying to, make the most of his lead, take away camps from the Nidalee, and Jankos really was just absent throughout this game. He was the one sitting, at 0-1 and 0 quite late into the game, down farm, really having a much harder time. Team Liquid have got to be so happy with this. They can breathe a little sigh of relief and know that they still have a shot in this group. Though they are still the underdogs, this was a hell of a performance, and they should be really, really proud.
And it means that no matter what, as we close out this group, as there's going to be the other matchup just coming after this one, Suning versus Machi, all the teams can be within one game of each other. Oppo player of the game, of course, who is shocked by this one, goes to Jensen from Team Liquid. Had a rough first 2 games, but shockwaves like that are why he came out on top.
I mean, he deserves a lot of credit. The laning phase, playing the Orianna into the Jayce, he was even with Caps in the early game. He got much more than Caps in the team fights, and G2 went for this style of composition where they wanted to run over their opponents. They wanted relentless aggression, non-stop ganking from this Nidalee. Combo up with the Jayce, with the Renekton, winning lanes, smash your opponents. It didn't happen like that. It was a relatively even early game, and it was Jensen matching some of these side lane plays, dominating in team fights, really a huge difference maker for the team, and has got to be so pleased with his performance.
Yeah, beautiful stuff out of him. That is a great kind of game. It again, let's kind of all the LCS fans, if you stayed up, you made a very, very good choice. It's only 2 a.m. in California. You should have made it happen there. That is a good start. We'll see if the LCS comeback can continue because there's 2 more LCS games throughout the day as well. That'll be fun to watch for all the NA fans. Now, while we wait for the post game, you can listen